is. So that was another time that God had answered my prayer. And so anyway, I decided to plant a butterfly garden because I love butterflies. And so I says, Lord, you know my house is painted yellow inside and out, and I just love that color yellow, and I just wondered, could you please send me a yellow butterfly? And getting ready to turn 2018, there is hardly a day that I don't have a yellow butterfly fly right around where I'm at so I can see it.
Love you, Grandma Kane, and we're gonna miss you.
Hi, Grandma Kane. I just want to let you know I love you and I miss you so much. You were my best friend and still are, and you're always gonna have a special spot in my heart. And I remember you telling me that I was your favorite and I was your little angel, and you always told me how much you loved me and you just wanted to see me get far in life and succeed. And yeah, I love you.
Hi, I am Cheryl, Carol Kane's youngest daughter. I reside in Grand Rapids, Michigan, where I was born and raised with my other 4 siblings. I'd like to say a lot, but I'm going to make this very short because it's trying times right now, and it's very sad and happy moments that my mother has passed, and I'm happy that she's out of pain and in heaven with the Lord Jesus Christ and her mother. We are going to miss her here. I'm going to miss her coming to visit me, and I would take her to the Tulip Festival, and she just loved going there because she was a street sweeper wearing her wooden shoes when she was a little girl, and she used to sweep the streets, and so she liked to watch those when I would take her there. And she also loved to go to the apple orchards with all of her great-grandchildren and watch them, and she'd pick apples and have apple cider and apple cider donuts, and she loved to do that. So we'd spend a lot of precious moments together here when she'd come to visit, and they're moments that we will never, ever forget. So we love you, Mother, and we're going to miss you deeply here in Grand Rapids. Lots of love. Bye.
I wanted to share with you a story at work. I was a manager, and we were in a meeting, and of course they wanted you to share some touchy-feely type story, and I'm not really crazy about doing stuff like that, but I thought, you know what? I'm gonna talk about my mom. So I mentioned my mom, Carol Kane, and I said, yes, Carol Kane of the mustard seed. And the maintenance manager said, Carol Kane, the mustard seed. I'm like, yeah, that's my mom. And he said, in Eatonville. And I'm like, yes, in Eatonville. And he said, oh my gosh, I can't tell you how much your mom's ministry saved my life. He said, my son had brain cancer, and I lost my job because, I was missing so much work, and we almost lost our home, and we couldn't afford to buy food. And he said, I just want to tell you how much your mother's ministry changed my life and helped us, and I wouldn't be where I'm at today. And I'm thankful to say his son did survive the brain cancer and doing very well. So I thought to myself, wow, they help 1,500 families a year. Can you imagine that in 30 years, 1,500 families a year? How many lives have been changed, and how many generations to come that how their lives have changed because of the mustard seed? And literally, what my mom has accomplished and done, that it's like if forever and ever, from generation to generation to generation, she has helped mold and help make so many generations have a better quality of life. So Mom, today we want to thank you for all your hard work, and I want to just thank you for the person that you are and the person that you have been, and what a mentor you have been for me, and how it's helped me to be able to accomplish everything in my life. and I'm going to miss you. And I'll see you one day in heaven. I love you.
She's just kissing on that butterfly.
You've been kissing me.
He's been kissing you?
You love me. You love me, don't you, honey? Yes, you do. You love me. This is so cute. A lot of prayers get answered, and we don't realize that, we can pray for anything and everybody or anybody, and God will answer your prayers one way or another. And I had this little girl, and her mom and dad brought her to the mustard seed. They made an appointment to come in so we could pray for their daughter, Jasmine. And she said, Miss Carol, there are so many colors in heaven, way more colors in heaven than there are here on earth. It's so beautiful there. And it's just so, everything is just like so happy. And she said, and when I looked at the flowers that were in the garden in heaven, she said, I could see all the little veins in those flowers, just exactly how they were made. I thought, oh boy, you sure did have a chance to see how heaven really looked, honey. You're a very fortunate little girl. So in a lot of ways, Jasmine helped me more than I could help her. But no, she has made my life more comfortable in my thoughts about when I get older and it's time for me to go. So that's my story about Jasmine and her family, and how much I still love the little girl that meant so much to me and was such a big part of my life.
Hi, my name is Susan Constantine Perfido, and I am Carol Kane's oldest daughter. And I'd like to share with you who she was, not just as Carol Kane, the founder of the Mustard Seed, but as our mother, as someone that walked this journey with her. She grew up in Homeacres, which was just outside of Grand Rapids. She was one of 5 siblings, and she was the oldest. When she was 19, she married my father. Had 3 children, my sisters Cindy, Sherry, and I. And after 3-4 years into the marriage, things were not going well. My mom is a domestic violence survivor, and a lot of people don't know that about her. And just to see how remarkable of a woman she was, I mean, you just got to just wrap your head around the fact that she got out of an abusive relationship, took her 3 kids, wanted a better life for them, found somebody, remarried, and had 2 boys, David and Stephen. He passes away, and she's now widowed. Carol Kane, my mother, was a woman that stood by us all, that loved with all of her heart. I mean, the whole purpose behind really life that I've learned through my mother is it's not about you. It's about other people. It's about serving other people. It's about helping those that have gone through personal tragedy. And who else better to have done that has actually walked those steps? My mother went through a horrible tragedy in her first marriage. Second one, of course, he passed away. She didn't give up. My mom never gave up. So my great-grandmother wore a pendant, and it had a little mustard seed in it. And she used to always tell, like her kids, which was my grandmother, and of course then my mother, that if you have faith of a mustard seed, you could move mountains. And that's how the name of the mustard seed came about, because if you have faith as a mustard seed, you can move mountains. So anyway, my mom says, I really felt like the Lord is telling me that there's something I need to do. I'm not sure what it is, but I know God is telling me. So she decided she's going to fast and pray. So she fasted and prayed, and she said she waited there for many hours. And she said, God, I'm going to be just as stubborn as you are. I'm going to sit here and I'm going to wait because I know you have something you want to tell me. I'm going to wait and find out what it is you want me to do. All of a sudden, she heard 3 things. Find a location, get a truck, and advertise. And from there, next morning, she got up and got on the road and she found all 3. And it's because of other people that jumped on board, like Real Radio and the Edith Bush Foundation and Charity Cars and Chuck McNulty and a lot of the news media and other organizations that all jumped in and said, hey, we want to make this thing work. I want to be a part of it. So it's interesting because when my mom prays for things, just know it happens. So with this beautiful building now was helping over 1,500 families a year that have gone through personal tragedy, fires. There were people that were homeless, had gone into homelessness because they've lost their jobs or illnesses in the family. And there's all kinds of situations. My mother would pray for mattresses. We're almost down. We don't have any left. And all of a sudden we get this phone call at the Mustard Seed. It's a big hotel saying, hey, Carol, are you guys in need of any beds? We're getting ready to refurbish our entire hotel. We have 2,500 beds. It's like, and this stuff happened all the time. My mom never gave up. My mom was a furious fighter for good, for right. The story about my mom's life and her ministry rose to the level of Washington, D.C. They heard about her work. And she was taken to Washington, D.C. She was given this amazing award. It's called the Jefferson Award of Outstanding Public Service. And you can see right here, the co-founders is Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. My mom, who was just an average person, has gone through so much, and she's remarkable. She receives a President's citation from Clinton. It's called the President's Service Award Citation for her work. And she gets letters from Bush and Clinton and Reagan for all of her outstanding work. My mother's legacy of the spirit of the mustard seed is that if you have faith of a mustard seed, you can move mountains. She was ferocious in a lot of ways. My mom was fearless in a lot of ways. She had such an amazing amount of compassion for people. And I think that my mom did it with just excellence. I mean, excellence.
We've often talked over the last week or so about how if we were not there and someone told us the story, we would have not necessarily believed it, but we were playing praise and worship music through our phones close to her ears so that she could be peaceful during that time. Susan and everybody else there were speaking with her and letting her know that it was okay for her to go be with Jesus, that Jesus was waiting for her, that he had prepared her mansion, and that it was okay for her to let go and go. She began to become a little lucid, not totally, but her eyes opened halfway. You could tell that she wanted to say something. And this woman who had pretty much been lifeless for the preceding 3 or 4 days, started to move her arm and her hand on her left side. And she began to move her index finger on her left hand. She began to slightly raise her left hand and literally point it up towards the sky.
And she knew, just like Jasmine knew, that the colors were so beautiful in heaven. And she looked up, and I could see her eyes looking up, and just seeing her index finger just slightly raise when she couldn't barely move, and to literally see her hand raise up and say the word up twice. And she just passed away effortlessly into heaven.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light